Today we want to discuss the issue we have found with students not being able to stay in the computer science and the software engineering fields. And we would like to be able to increase the software development retention. And the specific course of action that we're talking about is options for the BYU Idaho's CS124 class. The CS124 class is Introduction to Software Programming, and it's the first core class that a new student would have to take. The problem that we're finding is that computer science students are just dropping out at a normally high rate nationwide. It's not just a BYU Idaho problem, this is a nationwide issue. But we want to specifically talk about the BYU Idaho and what we might be able to suggest to be able to correct this problem. These are the reported dropout rates just from BYU Idaho's statistics. So in 2014, we had 89 enrollments and 1 graduate. And you'll notice in the years after that, it's not much better percentage-wise. I recognize that the program is fairly new to BYU Idaho, but even so, the rates of graduation is not good at all, and it's something that needs to be corrected. There is a huge market out there now for people who can do computer science and who can do the software engineering, and there's just not enough people to fill it. So we need to come up with a way within our course curriculum to encourage students to stay, be able to stay in their computer science and their software engineering courses so that they can eventually gain the confidence they need and graduate and then be able to get the marketplace jobs that are out there. Right now with the first program, the CS124, this was an example of a current workflow that they have to have. So they have to be able to figure out how to compile and run their program. If they know how to do that, then they have to figure out whether they can do learn the GDB program and then learn how to debug. And then if they're good with that, then they have to create the app, begin the code. It's just a whole lot of outside processes that they have to do just to be able to learn how to code. And it shouldn't be that complicated. It shouldn't have to be this big ordeal for them to do that. They should be able to start the class, learn the syntax of the language, because every language has its own syntax, and then be able to start their code and see the results of their processes. And as they learn a little step by step, they will get more confidence. But now they're so embedded in trying to learn all these other different things that aren't even part of programming. They're just processes that have to be done so that they can run their programs in CS124, which is using C++. And we need to come up with a better way for them to do that. Now, potential solutions for this have been considered. And the ones that we looked at and that we talked about with the professors at the school and other students was, first, they could just keep it the way it is, don't change anything, and just recognize that the tools that they're learning are necessary for them to learn how to be a software programmer or to be a software engineer or a computer programmer. The second is to move the CS124 course farther into their program, and that wouldn't be the first class they take now. It would be something maybe a second year after they've had some easier beginning classes. And then the third is just to change the language itself to be something simpler to use and to learn, so that they get the confidence early and they will continue on. Now, the methods that we came up with to try to replace the software language was, there's hundreds of them out there, and C++ is still a popular language. So we can't say that it's not useful for them to learn C++. What we're saying is that it's not useful for them to learn that first. The methods that we came up with for determining which languages to use, so we looked at TIOBE's website, which is the screenshot that we're showing here, and it shows the popularity of these languages based on web searches and just activity on the internet for these languages. And you'll notice that on the top of this is Java and C and Python and C++. We narrowed it down based on the learning curve that it would be to learn these languages, the ease of use. It's just how easy it would be for them to start writing the code. the compilation, all the other things that come with writing code, the community support that's out there, so that they do have questions, they can go to the internet and be able to get help easily with up-to-date information. And the last is just marketability, because when all's said and done, once they graduate, they want to be able to get a job. So they need to learn a language that's going to be useful for them to get a job later on. So we narrowed ours down to JavaScript, to Python, and to Go. And then we did surveys and asked the professors at school at BYU Idaho what their thoughts on it. We asked people in the field that are out there now how useful these things would be, and we basically did a survey of all those to see what they came up with. And the results of our survey comes down to this score. So we did C++ as well as our base, because that is still a popular language and that's what we're currently using, so we wanted to have something to base our results off of. And as you can see on our chart here, it really came down to JavaScript and Python. They're both very popular, they're both easy to use. But the recommendation that we are going to be making is a recommendation to go with Python, because it is an up-and-coming language. It's been around for a while, but it's growing and the popularity of it's growing. And it's not an internet-only based language like JavaScript is. So Python would give them the experience of working on the internet as well, but Python itself is a language that they can do to learn the language concepts, and not just internet development. So that is what we were presenting, and we hope that you will consider that as an option for making the software development process a lot easier for students to get into it, to get them excited about the course of study that they're going into, and not get so frustrated with all the tools and things that they have to use just to be able to compile and program the things that they're doing, instead of just going in there learning the syntax of the language and then getting out there and seeing their program's results. So we look forward to any input you have on that, and any questions you may have, just please contact me or any of our group, and we'll be happy to explain our reasoning and the results of our tests. Thank you very much.